Hello people, so I'm going to do the bookmark tag, and it was created by the Incredibly Deadly Viper. I shall leave her original video and a link to her channel in the doobly-doo in my pants. I was not tagged by anyone specifically, but it sounded like a fun tag to do because I own a shit ton of bookmarks. No kidding, eh? A ridiculous amount. So, okay, let's go. Question number 1. What are you currently using as a bookmark? Well, several things. This tag being created was very fortuitous because the other evening I printed out a heap of new bookmarks for myself. Not on proper bookmark paper necessarily, but I used like photo paper on my printer, and I'm going to have to show you these in a moment because they're awesome. But I printed some NERDFIGHTER, like fan-created nerd fighting vlog brothery bookmarks, and I'm using one of them. Because I'm currently reading The Explosionist by Jenny Davidson. Yay, Lara will be proud of me. And France is mentioned as like the enemy of Scotland in several instances, so I thought I would have French the llama. So I've got my little llama and the French flag, and he's wearing a beret, and it's awesome. So I kind of just printed that out. It's not really a proper bookmark necessarily, but I'm using it because it's awesome. And then for bitter greens, I'm using the bookmark that my lovely friend Fran gave to me, and it's Reading Girl, and she's reading, and on the back it says celebrating the personal passions and favourite pastimes of women everywhere. So it's like a feministy bookmark with reading and a little tassel, so I like that, using that one. And then for the two books that are on sabbatical at the moment, Mermaid, I am using a mermaid bookmark, which is apt. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty, isn't it? Tassel! I do love tassels. And then for the Near Witch, I swapped bookmarks the other night because I printed out some new ones, as I said. And so I got a house without books is like a room without windows. And it has pretty purple flowers, and I thought that's lovely because purple is one of my favourite colours, as you can probably tell. And I'd like to, because I'm actually nuts with this, I am OCD, and I like colour coordination, so I try to colour coordinate my bookmarks with the books. Or theme-wise, I think, thematically link them. But as there's purple on the cover, there's purple on the bookmark, you see. I know, it's nuts. But I completely own it. I'm well aware of how nuts I am. And then two bookmarks that stay permanently in two books are, of course, my Anne of Green Gables bookmark has to stay with my Anne book. It's so tattered, I need to sticky tape it, poor Anne. But it's got a quote from chapter 6. And a lovely little picture, and it's sticky tape too because it's ripped. Oh, Anne, I love you to death, seemingly. And my Little Women has the bookmark I got from the Australian production of the musical. So, yeah, and tassels, tassels, yay! Okay. Question number 2, the best thing you've ever used as a bookmark. Well, I think I've kind of answered that. Like, I love my Anne and my Little Women bookmarks. I love all the NERDFIGHTER stuff I've printed, and even though I've yet to use them, I'm going to show you these. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of the Sherlock BBC TV series, because why wouldn't you be? So the other night I looked up, I just googled Sherlock bookmarks to see if there was such a thing, and there is, but they're so tiny. So, but I've printed them out. You see Mycroft and his umbrellas, and there's Sherlock looking all aloof and cool with his cheekbones and his collar up. And there's John Watson looking adorable, and like I love these little ones. There's Lestrade with his sunnies. And there's Mrs. Hudson, and she's got a cup of tea. Isn't that just the cutest thing? So I will be using them at some point because I just love them so much. And then I'm going to very quickly show you the NERDFIGHTER ones I printed off. Oh, I thought it was apt I printed a Hermione one, just Hermione pictures, her looking bookish and with crookshanks and stuff. And here's the NERDFIGHTER ones I printed off. Who the F is Hank? And it's a Hanklerfish in the corner. A DFTBA one. And then this one that says NERDFIGHTER, a person who instead of being made of cells and organs and stuff, is actually made completely of awesome, like you. Isn't that lovely? So I printed those. I couldn't resist. And then this one actually, this is a pretty cool bookmark. It says believe in miracles, and it's got lovely pretty flowers and a tassel, but it's also a magnifying glass thing. So you can magnify your words as you're reading. Isn't that nifty? I like that. And then this one's also pretty cool. This was given to me as a gift because I sent a book to a fellow blogger, and she sent me this one back, and because the book I sent her was Embrace by Jessica Shervington, one of my copies of that, she sent me back this, and it actually has Embrace there, and it's just very pretty and jingle jangle, so I like it a lot. What's the weirdest thing you've ever used as a bookmark? I don't know if it's necessarily weird. Like I've used chocolate wrappers, candy bar wrappers. I've used chocolate wrappers. I've used the party hats you get in Christmas crackers. Those hats you put on, the paper hats. I've used that. Yeah, I've used the some of the press releases that come with book review copies of books. Sometimes I use those. So it's not necessarily too crazy. Do you write and annotate in books? Why not? Yes, I do, and hold on a minute. Okay, sorry for that, I had to go and grab books for evidence. I have written in books, and the thing is, I've written, okay, I should explain, textbooks and things that have been used for university, that sort of stuff. Usually it was written in pencil, like I'd underline stuff in pencil, and I don't rub it out, I keep them underlined just because I do. But the one instance where I think it's the only time I've ever actually written in books in pen, yes, in pen, and I have no shame about it, it doesn't bother me, they're my books, was Harry Potter. Harry Potter books. And probably the best example would probably be Half-Blood Prince. And I don't know why at the time, but I had a red pen in my hand, no less, so like at the start I wrote, "This book has shockers!" Height can't compare, it would seem. And then there's awesome moments where I've like scribbled in red pen as I'm reading stuff. I really want to find the instance where I got really mad at Snape. I got really mad at Snape and then scribbled something down on the side. Hold on. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. I really truly am. Hold on. Wait. Going back. Oh, where Ron was in the hospital, knocked out after the potion thing, and he, like, mumbles Hermione in his sleep. I drew a little love heart and underlined it, because I'm a fangirl like that. Here, I, like, highlighted around the note left inside the fake locket. Why? I don't know. Why the hell would I know what I do? And then at the end, I even wrote a whole little spiel to conclude the end, like my reading of it, and it was full of nonsense. And when Dumbledore died, I did a little scribble and wrote, "We love you, Dee Dee." What? I wish I could find the Snape thing. And also when was it? Oh, and I scribbled under all here when it was the locket and cup. Oh, that's right, because I was circling how many Horcruxes they'd found, so I was counting them off as it went through. I wish I could find where I wrote about Snape, because I got, here we are, Snape. Because I found out the spoiler early about Snape being the one who killed Dumbledore, so I got really mad, so I circled Snape and wrote on the side, "Must die. This is the moment in which Renee foolishly read spoilers," so I wrote that there, so I could remember at exactly what instant I got it. Oh, and here Ron says, "I love you, Hermione," and I wrote, "Wrong context, but who cares?" Because I'm nuts. And I did the same. I didn't really do it very much in any of the other books, but for the Deathly Hallows, I did, for the Forest again, I wrote the saddest chapter ever, with sad faces, so. It doesn't bother me writing in books necessarily, so long as they're my own, because it's my book, and especially for Harry, I'm not ever planning on giving them away. And I've said before, I'm not someone who cares about pristine quality and stuff. I dog-ear pages and things. I'm someone who, like, when I was little and I had all my teddy bears and my stuffed toys, which I still have, by the way, I loved to hug them, and I didn't care if they looked worn and loved, because they were loved. So, same with books, really. Question number 5. Share something you found written in a borrowed book, like a library book or a used book or that kind of thing. Nothing really amazing, although at school, if you borrowed past textbooks and things that people had studied in, like often you could get them and they were still the little post-it notes in there and things circled and stuff annotated in the side, which was awesome because you could totally steal their ideas, or at least adapt them into your own, and that was really useful. I will say, however, one thing that was sad was that the Bibles, because I went to a Catholic school, the Bibles often had drawings of like penises and stuff, because, you know, real mature high school students, so yeah, that was the most I really ever found in books that weren't my own. Question number 6. What books in your collection are written by someone named Mark? Now, I was very excited and proud of myself. It's not written by Mark, but it is edited by Mark, so I think that totally counts, right? The Making of a Poem, which is an anthology of poetic forms, was edited by Mark Strand. So I'm counting that as having counted, and no doubt at some point there is a poet in here somewhere, or in one of my big anthologies, that is Mark. So that's totally going to count. 7. What book has made the biggest impact on your life figuratively? Well, that's difficult. It's very difficult. I would say it's probably it'll have to be Anne. It'll have to be Anne, because she's my bestest friend in the literary world, and she was really the first character I majorly connected with, and felt I had a kindred spirit in her, so have to be Anne Shirley. And Anne of Green Gables, rather. Literally, what book has had the biggest impact on your life? Literally. Do you have any literary related tattoos, and if not, what would you get if you could get them? I don't ever plan on getting tattoos, just because I don't like the idea of getting, you know, ink needled into my skin, but if I did, I'd be probably very tempted to get the Hogwarts crest. Not the Hogwarts crest, sorry, it's just the motto. So I'd want Draco Dominions Naquiem Titilandus. I can't do Latin at all, but I'd want Never Tickle a Sleeping Dragon probably written on me. That'd be pretty nifty. I think I'd do that. Question number 9. Which book has made the biggest impact on your generation, in your opinion? Well, I've got 2, and they're series. So obviously Harry, because that's obvious, and that kind of just speaks for itself, and it's still continuing to engage my generation and other generations as well, and it's had the biggest widespread impact, I think, certainly, in terms of just pop culture, not just within the book community. So Harry speaks for itself, but specifically book-wise, for my generation in my country, was John Marston's The Tomorrow series, so Tomorrow When the War Began and all the subsequent books. Certainly when I was growing up, that was something that was really spurring on the adolescents and the kids that were going into bookstores and purchasing books and actively reading. So John Marston, certainly in Australia during the 90s, had a really big impact on advocating, you know, reading within youngsters and teenagers especially. So the Tomorrow series was a really big deal in Australia, so that counts totally. And yeah, I think that's all for bookmarks. I'm scanning through to see if I have any others to show you. I got a New York one. Lots of them are just free ones that I pick up everywhere. I have a signed Burn Bright Marianne DePere bookmark from When I Met Marianne, so that was pretty cool. And there's a pretty fairy purple with a tassel. So yeah, I have lots of bookmarks that I just pick up for free wherever I can. So I like my bookmarks. And I think that's all. Yay! If you've not done this tag and you wish to, go right ahead, share your bookmarks, and I think that's all. Yeah.